where would you live? What city would you live in?
Well,
where do you think you'd
sure,
be comfortable in that dress?
I'm sure it would not be comfortable in this dress in any of the various Middle Eastern countries that have been destabilized by
You're not
the United States.
You're not really blaming it on Whitey.
Listen.
Are you saying every Muslim is a jihad? I don't think they are.
Bill.
Okay, why can't you wear that dress?
Let's focus for a second.
No, you won't answer this question.
I'm not going to defend that religion, like that extremist religion at all.
Why can't you just say?
That's not what this discussion is about. This discussion is about
No, it's very much what it's about. It's very
innocent,
much.
the greatest freaking country in the world.
Look, you're like a politician. You're avoiding the question.
No, I'm being as super honest as I can be.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
100% I'm being honest with you.
No. Because the question is...
Hey everyone, welcome back. Big thanks to all our loyal supporters, and if you're new, you found the perfect spot. This episode takes an unexpected turn for Bill Maher. He gets together with Ana Kasparian on Club Random with Bill Maher, expecting a laid-back, lighthearted chat, some jokes, a bit of fun banter, nothing too heavy. You know the drill. Bill's at ease, probably thinking, this will be a piece of cake. But Ana isn't about taking the easy route. Bill starts off in his usual style, portraying himself as the calm and open-minded host, the kind who listens to all sides without getting flustered, and unlike the others who lose their cool. Sounds impressive in theory, right? Until it's put to the test. And that's exactly where Ana steps in. No warm-up, no gentle lead-in. She jumps straight into one of the most charged topics you can toss into a discussion like this. From that moment, you can feel the atmosphere shift. It's like watching someone confidently claim they never lose their temper, only to be presented with the one scenario that truly tests them. Kudos to Ana for her strategy, because from that point onwards, the casual vibe of this podcast vanished, giving way to a much more intense exchange. stop right there because, well, this is where things start to spiral for Bill Maher. He tries to break down the situation in Lebanon using one of those straightforward, relatable examples, making it sound like a straightforward case of retaliation, as any nation would do when threatened. But the trouble is that real life doesn't fit into tidy little analogies like that. Once you dig into the history, it's clear it's not just about guarding a border. Israeli forces had a military-controlled zone in southern Lebanon for quite some time. That's not just about protecting your front yard. That's occupying someone else's territory and staying put. And, that's when his argument starts losing credibility. Claiming self-defense becomes a lot harder when your presence extends beyond your own borders over a prolonged period. So, what's Bill's next move? He shifts gears, and not gracefully either. He abruptly redirects the discussion away from historical context and onto a completely unrelated topic, questioning whether Ana would feel safe in certain countries based on her attire. And honestly, that's a dead giveaway that someone is trying to dodge the original issue. It's like losing a debate over economic policies, then suddenly asking what someone had for breakfast. But this is where Ana Kasparian shines. She doesn't take the bait. She guides the conversation back to the broader matter, the causes of instability and how it arises in the first place. And she highlights something many people are unaware of, Operation Timber Sycamore. It was a covert effort to arm factions in a conflict zone to shift power, but those weapons ended up empowering groups no one wanted to strengthen. That's the awkward part. Because when systems fall apart, when governments crumble, when societies become unstable, it's often the most radical elements that rise to power. Not the moderates, not the balanced voices, the extremes. It's not just about religion, it's about what occurs when order disintegrates. You can observe this contrast worldwide. Nations with similar populations can have markedly different outcomes, depending on stability, governance, and whether their institutions survive or are destroyed. And that's the point Ana keeps hammering home. When you dismantle a system, chaos doesn't yield peace. It leads to power struggles, and typically, the loudest and most forceful voices seize control.
Could you want me to talk about jihadism and Islam, but like,
why won't you?
Listen,
why won't you?
I mean,
Why?
I don't believe in jihadism, which is why I'm furious that the United States just had a freaking Al Qaeda terrorist in the White House.
It's not just jihadism that is preventing you from wearing that dress. Are you saying every Muslim is a jihad? I don't think they are.
Bill.
Okay, why can't you wear that dress?
Let's focus for a second.
No, you won't answer this question.
I'm not going to defend that religion, like that extremist religion at all.
Why can't you just say?
That's not what this discussion is about. This discussion is about
it's very much what it's about.
Ordinary, innocent human beings that I don't want to be slaughtered, regardless of what their religion is.
No one does. Then stop starting wars.
It's that simple.
Stop attacking Israel. It'll stop.
Okay.
But the fact that you can't answer that question, and you know that
I don't know what the question is. What's the question?
You keep doing that.
What's my question? What's your question?
Because you don't really want to hear it.
No, go ahead. I will give you space to speak. Go ahead.
Then you will let me.
Yeah.
Okay. The question is, if you could live anywhere,
right,
from North Africa all the way to, we left out Uzbekistan, you could live there. Kazakhstan, Saudi Arabia, Riyadh.
None of the above.
And
none of them.
Or Tel Aviv.
None of them. Literally none of them.
But if you had to choose one, you would. So to you, Karachi, Pakistan, and Tel Aviv, same thing.
I would figure something out, but
that's powerful. Not as smart as I know you are. That's. Come on. You're going to get killed. You're going to get killed for that for good reason.
No, I don't.
Yes, you are, and for good reason.
Okay, Bill, I'm Armenian. I have literal family members who currently live in Iran. I have no love for the Iranian regime. Let me be clear about that. I don't want anyone.
Tehran. Would you like to live there?
Hold on. But let me just say something.
Tel Aviv, Tehran.
There is so much disinformation. Armenian Christians who are part of the Armenian diaspora as a result of the 1915 genocide against Armenians.
I know it.
They're living in Iran right now. They're going to church. They're being left alone by the Ayatollah, as awful as the Ayatollah is. So look, I'm not saying I would want to live in Iran. I don't want to live anywhere in the Middle East. I want to live here in the United States of America, the greatest freaking country in the world.
You're like a politician. You're avoiding the question.
No, I'm being as super honest as I can be.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
100% I'm being honest with you.
No. Because the question is, if you had to pick a city, and you're not answering that question, you're doing what politicians are doing and saying, I don't want to live in any of them. I want to live in America. That's not the question. The question is, if you had to pick Would you rather live in Tel Aviv? Because I promise you, you wouldn't last a week in the other places, and you could easily live in Tel Aviv. So if you don't think that speaks of a difference between cultures and civilizations, then okay, we'll leave it there. But I promise you it does. And if you had to actually do that, I think you would agree with me.
I think given my very harsh and vociferous criticisms of the Israeli government, I probably wouldn't feel so safe living in Tel Aviv right now under this government. Under this government.
First of all, they have free speech there, so it would not be an issue. But that is a side issue. We're not really talking about. We'll just say just a person, not you with your vociferous talking at, just a regular, a woman of your age.
I'm sure a woman of my age who grew up in the Western world would probably feel the most comfortable in Tel Aviv. I will concede that.
Wow.
Okay. But we're having a discussion about which culture we like, when in reality, I'm having a discussion about the value of human life. And wanting innocent people to live, whether they're Israelis or whether they're Muslims in some other Muslim country.
You know what?
Hold up a second, because what's happening here is Bill Maher is completely dodging Ana Kasparian's main issue from the start. He immediately shifts to the where would you rather live question as if it's some decisive argument. But let's be real, that's not the topic at hand. Naturally, people are most at ease in the place they grew up. That's just basic human instinct, not a geopolitical statement. People are familiar with their surroundings, culture, and customs. Plopping someone into a totally different environment and asking if they prefer it only shows that diverse cultures exist. As for the clothing argument, it's another leap. Suggesting safety hinges solely on attire misses a key point. Context is crucial. Each society has its own expectations, whether in the Middle East, Europe, or various parts of the US, going someplace with entirely different norms, and ignoring them isn't a bold statement, it just makes you stand out. This isn't about civilization versus primitiveness. It's a matter of common sense and situational awareness. Now, here's what's actually noteworthy, the larger issue being constantly sidestepped. Instead of focusing on foreign policy and its long-term outcomes, the discussion keeps veering into these superficial comparisons. Meanwhile, Ana is highlighting a critical issue about intervention. What happens when strong nations repeatedly get involved in conflicts, fund factions, and attempt to restructure regions externally? Whether one agrees with her viewpoint or not, it's a significant argument. It needs to be engaged with seriously, not brushed aside with lifestyle parallels. Furthermore, she challenges the concept of reducing whole regions to one stereotype. The Middle East isn't a monolithic entity. There are countries, communities, and groups experiencing vastly different circumstances. Some areas are more stable, some less so, some more open, others more restrictive. This complexity exists globally. Depicting everything as extremes oversimplifies a much more nuanced picture. Then there's the free speech angle, which is brought up like it's a settled issue. However, a deeper dive shows considerable debate and critique from international bodies, journalists, and activists about how dissent is managed in conflict zones. This is another area far from the black and white portrayal being given. Ultimately, the intrigue in this exchange isn't about who wins the debate. It's about observing the conversation's direction. One side striving to ground it in policy and long-term repercussions, the other steering it into contrasts and hypotheticals that dodge the main point. Anyway, folks, that wraps it up for today. I really enjoyed dissecting this one. If you like the breakdown, hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's up next. Catch you in the next video.